What if I told you there was an upgrade for your FlashForge Adventure 5M? An upgrade that gave you better remote management, granular control over its configuration, and even the ability to tie it into your smart home system. With its already impressive feature set, the Adventure 5M series is a serious contender in the 3D printing industry, even against machines that are advertised at 2 to 3 times the cost. But what if I told you in less than 5 minutes we can make one small change that would seriously stack the odds even more in FlashForge's favor? This USB drive holds the secret to fully unlocking the potential of the Adventure 5M. And in the time it's taken you to watch this intro, you could have seriously upgraded the capabilities and the experience of your 3D printer. Out of the box, this 3D printer offers very little in terms of the capabilities for remote management. But with very little risk, in just a few minutes, you can completely change this and upgrade your 5M. This open source community firmware being packaged with Klipper, Moonraker, Fluid, and Mainsail. Thankfully, this firmware has been created by the community for the Adventure 5M. We can go to the GitHub and download this firmware and install it freely on our machines. Once you're at the GitHub, all you need to do is download the firmware image onto your computer. One important detail is I highly recommend that you download and install the Guppy screen version of this firmware, as the hardware on the Adventure 5M is extremely limited in its system resources, and the Guppy screen version is more optimized for these limited resources. Before we do this install, it's important to make sure that your stock firmware is at or above version 2.4. If your firmware hasn't been updated, make sure to update your stock firmware before you attempt to install this community firmware. Once this image is on your computer, you simply extract those files and drop them on an empty USB drive. For this Adventure 5M, all I need to do is plug this USB into the front of the screen here and then turn the machine on, and the firmware will begin installing. I've already installed the firmware on the 5M Pro, and all the B-roll and side footage for this video has been filmed with the installation on the 5M Pro, but it's the same installation no matter the machine. Once the firmware is installed, you can simply restart your machine, and upon boot, you'll notice that the interface looks very different. If you don't have it plugged into a network, now would be a good time to go ahead and plug it in, or use the built-in Wi-Fi. Then either make sure to go into the Wi-Fi to connect to Wi-Fi, or if you're plugged into Ethernet, go to the system info to see your IP address on the network. Once you have the IP address of the machine, you can open up a browser tab and go to the IP address of the machine and then port 4001. And this will open up the Fluid interface. If you've never used Fluid before, it may come as a shock to you the amount of control that you now have over your 3D printer. But we're not done just yet. How about we add the printer's camera to the Fluid's management interface? To do this, we can go to the bottom left of the Fluid interface to the Settings section. Once you're in Settings, click on Camera on the left side, and then we just want to add a new camera. The first thing you want to do is give your camera a name and then scroll down and enter the location of your camera on your network. I will have the URL for your camera stream listed in the description. There are a few small changes that you need to make to the slicer software that you will be using. One point of confusion for owners of the Adventure 5M series is which version of Orca Slicer you should be using. You should be using the official version of Orca Slicer from the Orca Slicer GitHub, and not the Orca Slicer provided by FlashForge. Once you're in Orca Slicer, if you haven't already done so, go ahead and add the default profile for the Adventure 5M series that you have just flashed. Now that we have our profile added, we just need to change the connectivity options for our printer. To do this, you go up to the top left and hit the Wi-Fi icon next to your printer's profile. Once you're there, just make sure that Klipper is selected in the drop-down menu. To do this, we just hit the drop-down menu and make sure that we have the firmware Klipper selected. And then we'll go in and enter the IP address of the machine followed by the port 7125. And the next option, we'll just add HTTP, the IP address of the machine, and then port 4001. Once we've done this, you should now be able to fully control the Adventure 5M through Orca Slicer. Before we can send anything off to print, we need to make a few changes in Orca Slicer. To do this, we need to modify the printer's profile. So go up and hit the printer's profile button, and then once you're there, make sure that you have the advanced section enabled. Once you have the advanced section enabled, just go to the Machine G-Code tab. We need to change the start and end G-code for the printer profile. So go ahead and remove all the code that's in there, and then I'll have the code that you need in the description, and then we can copy those in to call the correct start and end macros for the printer. Once these settings have been changed, you can go ahead and now save your printer profile. When you first unbox your Adventure 5M, the machine has you go through a setup and calibration process. With this firmware, it will just allow you to print without going through any calibration process. So it's important that we take an extra minute to make sure that we calibrate our machine before we begin printing. To do these calibrations, we'll go to the console section in Fluid. And the first command that we're going to run is shaper_calibrate. This calibration is going to vibrate your tool head and then measure the resonant frequencies of your 3D printer. Once this is done, you'll see a save config at the bottom, and we can press this and hit send. The next two calibrations that we will run will be the PID calibrate for both the hot end and the bed. These calibrations will run separate, and I'll have both the commands in the description. The way these calibrations work is both the hot end and the bed are heated and cooled over a period of time. Then measurements are taken telling the firmware of the exact values that can be expected from the heating elements in both the bed and the hot end. While the calibration for the hot end is generally quick, the calibration for the bed can take quite a while. So just be patient and make sure that you don't do anything with the printer or touch it, again, while it is running this calibration. And just like before, with every calibration, we simply wait until we see the save config at the bottom of the console. We click that, and we can hit save until we are finally done with all our calibrations. Running these calibrations will help ensure that your printer outputs the quality that you expect for your 3D prints. One last thing about this firmware is every machine that I've installed it on, the default offset has been appropriate to the machine. But if you do decide that you would like to adjust this offset, just remember that you need to save the changes to the offset probe, not the offset for the end stop. Keep in mind, there's a lot to unpack here with this new custom firmware, and you'll learn over time the things that you can tweak and things you might want to adjust with this new firmware. So unless you're already familiar with Klipper and the Fluid interface, just be patient as it takes a while to get used to some of the things that are going on. Now that we have the firmware installed and calibrated, we can begin to pull any files we would like into Orca Slicer to send them off to our 3D printer. If you're interested in this custom firmware but would like to know more, feel free to leave a comment. Also check out the Discord in the description, as well as the GitHub to the custom firmware linked in the description. And remember, these changes are fully reversible, the same way it's installed. All you have to do is drop the uninstall image onto a USB drive and put it in the USB port on the front of the printer. Once you turn the printer on, the firmware will uninstall.